YouTube, what the crap's going on? HeirofCarthage here, and I am in Thrones of Britannia, bringing you the Northymbre campaign. I'm not gonna say it right. I'm gonna do my best. Northymbre, something like that. They said it's something like that. Anyway, yeah. So this has been an awesome campaign. It's been a lot of fun so far. And what is Thrones of Britannia? How am I enjoying it? And what can you expect? Well, there is some things I can tell you. There are some things I can't tell you yet. But let's talk about this campaign and how it's been for me. So this is the tactical overview map of the campaign. This is my faction here in this pink/light red. You can see the position in Britannia that I hold right now is pretty strong. When the campaign started, I didn't hold near this much position. I had to push north into, and I'm going to try and say it, it's like Northload, whatever it was called. There's another faction to the north of me, and we had to push into them into a massive war. It was basically a war for survival, and early on in that war, I was able to put a crushing blow on one of their largest armies, and ever since then I had them on the run, and I was able to defeat them. However, that comes with a bit of a price here. You can see it says here King, same thing here, right? So the army, the Great Army, and then the English. So since we're playing as a faction that has those Viking roots, right? The English are not too happy with me being here and ruling because I've been attacking so many of their kin. Whereas the army, they're kind of okay with me right now. My own people are tired of war. They'd rather me stop. I have been at war for a long time. I'm at about turn 51, 52, and I've been at war for almost all of that. So the faction is a little bit tired of war. This is a cool little screen that they've put up here at the top to remind you of things before you end a turn. You can see there's a couple of things here. Let's just take care of a couple of these. So I have a character here. He's one of my governors, Walthoff. And right now his loyalty's pretty good. Doesn't have much influence, and he doesn't really have any governance skill. So there's some different things we can add to him here. He has a skill point. You can see it here. And these are the different things that we can add under the followers. Well, the scribe here adds extra governance and extra taxes at the local province. Let's do that. Seems like a fitting thing to add to him. We have damaged buildings. Well, we have damaged buildings because we're under siege from some rebels. Yeah, believe it or not, all this destruction of the English, you know, the English subjects in my own kingdom don't much like me right now. I know, it's hard to believe. People don't like Patchy. I struggle with it even myself, folks. We better move south here, too, because we have even more rebels and then an unfriendly faction here, too. Heirofcarthage? Yeah. I believe that's the name of it. Yeah, these guys are just English rebels, and then some English rebels took over here. So you can tell I'm very popular with the English right now. About as popular as most Americans can be. Get it? Lame joke? Now, anyway, I control all the way up here from Edinburgh, Edinburgh? Is that supposed to be like modern day Edinburgh? I don't really know my geography of the British Isles right now, but it looks very familiar if it's not. In any case, yeah, so I control a large area north to south, and we even control all the way across the island in certain places. So we're in a pretty good spot altogether, I think. We just need to put down some of this unrest in our own provinces. Now, you can see over here, let's just talk through a few of the things that you're seeing in the campaign. Obviously, you can see the major settlements here, like these. And then there's minor settlements. You can see that. It's like these. And when you look at the province screen, you can see the major settlement here to the left, and the minor settlements over to the right. And you can see that this is one of those minor settlements. Here's the other. And it tells you what kind of building that you have there. This isn't all that different, really, than, say, like an Empire Total War, where you had the small settlements, and they specialized in something. So it's pretty similar to that. So here I have a lead mine and a Grand Manor farm. You can actually see the food production up here. In order to maintain units, you have to have food. So yeah, big surprise, right? So when you recruit units, you have to have the food for it. And of course, certain buildings use extra food, and certain units use the food. People can be raiding, and there can be other issues that can impact your food supply. This, of course, is my treasury, and how much I'm going to be making on the next turn. And it even shows you your expenses. But overall, shows my leader influence here. And they even have a faction screen, and some of you are going to love this. Family tree. Family tree's here. You can see my family tree. Here's my faction leader. Guthfried. Guthfried. And then his family here. You can see what everybody's status is. You can actually arrange a marriage. Let's check that out. Can we arrange a marriage? Oh, we'd have to arrange it with one of these other folks that we know or something like that. Yeah, let's not worry about that right now, because I need to take my time and probably make sure that this would actually be a good idea. So we're not going to arrange the marriage at the moment. Buildings. I noticed, like with my faction, for instance, they have some interesting buildings. Let's go into my provinces. You got a nice summary here, just like you do in every Total War game, telling you how your public order is doing, how your food production is, and what your tax income is. Let's go to some of these. I'll show you here. Yeah, it's like this province, heavily focused on market chain buildings, which are this yellowish color here. So you can see that I have a lot of focus on it, and this is part of what's driving a lot of income for me. Some pretty cool buildings here in terms of driving a lot of income and a lot of extra trade. So that's one thing I've been focusing on in order to maintain a high level of income, even while having several large armies. In fact, one of those large armies is about ready to engage some rebels, as we are here. And then here I'm actually just moving into a defensive position. We have some enemies on our border, and I'd kind of like to capture these minor settlements to complete everything over there. So let's end the turn and see what that's like. So how have I been enjoying it? It's been fun. It feels very similar to Age of Charlemagne, or in some ways Attila, because obviously that's the code that it's built on. And that's the game that this is built up off of. Obviously, it's a standalone map, all its own, though. Britannia with a ton of settlements, major and minor, and great detail on the map. There are seasons as you end the turns. Each turn is not a year. It's going through seasons. You can see those down here in the bottom right. This is a, what do you call it, like a little dilemma thing that pops up. It gives me an opportunity to either make the army matter at me, or to make the English happier with me. Well, I don't really want to make the army mad at me, because then it's going to cost me a lot of extra upkeep, and the English are already pretty angry at me, so let's just meet on the side of the battle. So there we go. Now the English hate me even more. Were it possible for them to hate me anymore. We had some damaged buildings from a lightning storm. I'm sure the English are happy to hear it. I'll just go here and repair them. Alright. Buildings repaired. Look, we have another character who's leveled up. This is our governor in the north. Again, loyalty is pretty decent. Loyalty is a problem with characters in this faction, especially early on in the game. That was one of the major things I had to overcome. I had to keep the loyalty of these characters high. One of the ways you can do that is you can use this priest retainer here. So he adds loyalty, which can be nice. At this point, I don't think I need additional loyalty. So I'm going to put the scribe here and let him start earning some extra tax and gaining in his governance skill. What are other ways you can get loyalty? Well, the politics system is here. You can click on a character and you can secure loyalty by paying money. That's one way. Another way to help control loyalty is through estates. So you'll notice that as I have captured all this territory, we have these estates here for our nobles. And those can be split up. If your king holds all these estates, then it creates a great deal of disloyalty amongst those who work for him. So you'll see that I have these different estates. You can see them here, split up between my different governors, nobles, my heir. My heir even has an estate here, right? And if you split them up, it makes people more loyal because they're all getting to do a little bit to help run the kingdom. So that's one way that you can kind of keep the disloyalty in check. You can assign governors in this screen. You can see I actually have a governor in every province. That's why everything is yellow at the time. If you could assign a governor, it would be red. And you can take a character and drag them over into that. Of course, the governor can help drive special bonuses in that province. We have some buildings that need repair, but it's under siege. There's nothing we can do. Let's check here. Again, nothing we can do because we're under siege. So how about we defend ourselves? We can't quite reach this army on this particular turn, but we'll be there next time. There's only so much I can show you in each episode of this because it hasn't been released yet. So we're going to stop here for now. Stay tuned. I've got more footage from this campaign. It'll be out in another segment soon.